So this is a little realistic setting. Okay, so during the pandemic, the government allowed students to stop paying the interest loan, and very luckily for student finance loans, they can stop paying interest and stop accumulating interest. But for private banks, they may allow you to not make the payment, but they will still continue to charge you interest. So this is a little situation. Okay. So to relieve customers' financial burden during the COVID pandemic, SL Bank permits the student loan borrowers to defer the payments. To defer means is to mean that they don't have to make payments. However, the loans will continue to accumulate interest in the meantime. If John has a student loan balance of $20,000, what will his balance be after 3 years? If the interest rate is 8%, it is compounded monthly. Okay, so the starting balance is $20,000, and the interest rate is 8%, so 0.08, but it's compounded monthly. So how many times a year that he'll be charged interest? 12 times. So we will divide the 0.08 by 12. But how many times altogether that John will be charged with the interest over 3 years, and a total of how many times? 12 times a year for a total of 3 years. That means there will be a total of 36 times. So if you are receiving a monthly statements, there will be 36 letters going to your mailbox. So we are trying to calculate, well, what would that money be? So if he doesn't have to make any payment, but the loan will still accumulate interest, what would the balance be? Let's go ahead and take a look. So $20,000 times, 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12. And then all raised to the power of 36. And that will be $25,000, 404. $25,404.70. Yes. Why is it percent divided by 12? Because the 8% is the annual interest rate. But since he's being charged 12 times a year, so we split up this 8% by 12. Hmm? 0.08. Oh. Yeah. So make sure you type the numbers carefully. All right. So that's why we divide by 12. Yes. Multiply what by 12? Then that means you're being told that the interest rate just jumped from 8% to 96%. 96%? Yeah. That'll be pretty scary. Okay, if you multiply that by 12, it's pretty scary. Okay, so again, we divide this 0.08 by 12 because the 0.08 is the percent for 1 whole year. But we are charging the customer 12 times a year. Therefore, we divide the 0.08 by 12. But at the same time, because it's 12 times a year for 3 total years, we are going to charge the interest for a total of 36 times. That's why the exponent is 12 times 3. Okay, so again, now I want you to understand this at this stage of mathematics, it's not about putting in the numbers. It's about making sense of what the equation is actually saying. Okay, so the bonus question right here, should he keep making payments if he's capable of making? What do you think? Why are you nodding your head?
Because otherwise it's going to keep increasing.
Yeah, the balance is going to balloon. Okay. Now look at this approximately. What's the percentage increase? From $20,000 to $25,000. That's a 25% increase for doing nothing. Do you want to pay $5,000 extra to the bank if you're capable of paying? So this is the main thing when you are borrowing money. You always want to pay it off ASAP. Because the longer you have a balance, the more interest it's going to charge you. And the more money you have to pay, and the more money the bank is going to make from you. So make sure that you know how to handle your finances in the future. Yes?
If you want to default on a loan, will they take your assets?
Oh, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Did you hear the question? What's the question? If you default your loan, will they take your assets? Well, first, I think they have the power to take away your paycheck. Number two, do you know that you cannot declare bankruptcy if you owe a student loan? Like if you owe a student loan and you cannot pay it off, you cannot declare bankruptcy. But if you say you have a huge pile of credit card debts and you cannot pay it off, you may consider applying for bankruptcy and get some kind of restructuring. But student loans, you cannot. You simply cannot declare bankruptcy. It follows you for the whole life. And if you look into the problem of student loans nowadays, you can see how it causes a whole lot of problems in the society. Because people are still paying off in their mid-30s or late 30s. And if you have a student loan, it's going to be hard for you to purchase a home. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if your parents are paying for your college tuition, make sure you say thanks to them. Mother's Day is coming, by the way. So that's Father's Day.